Biology Part 227. Mechanism of speciation. The two species definition given earlier in our tutorial describe species as reproductively isolated communities consisting of individuals which share in the same gene pool. The definitions apply to all the individual members of a single species and state when they have in common. In the context of the evolutionary change, it is just as important to ask how species differ from one another. The answer is that while two species may have access to some of the same genes, their total gene pools are never identical. Each species has its own unique gene pool different from that of any other species. Thus, explaining the origin of the new species becomes a matter of explaining the circumstances under which the gene pools of two populations can diverge. According to these circumstances, three types of speciation are distinguished, called allopatric, parapatric, and sympatric speciation. We can talk about all of them in detail, one after another. Let's start with allopatric speciation first of all. The allopatric speciation, allo means different, patric means place, occurs between the geographically isolated population and depends on the following mechanism. Number one, adaptation. No two geographically distinct regions will be exactly alike in climate or ecology, so that separated populations will be subject to the different selective pressures. Through natural selection, each will become adapted to its own environment and may diverge from the parental type, especially if there is a competition with their organisms. Beneficial mutations appearing in one area will not be available to individuals in the other. Number two, founder effect. The first colonist of an oceanic island or the first individuals to spill over into previously unoccupied area are the founders of a new population. If relatively few individuals are involved, they may carry an unrepresentative selection of genes from the parent population. When this happens, the new population descended from the founders will have a divergent gene pool from the outset. This is called the founder effect. Natural selection may act to increase divergence, producing a distinct group of organisms in the new region. Number three, genetic drift. This is the name given to the random changes in the gene frequency in small populations. A rare gene in colonizing population may be lost altogether or may increase to become common by chance alone. Provided the change is not selective one, and it does not have a selective value either. Genetic drift can also occur in larger population if mating between individuals is non-random. Some organisms like snails have a very limited mobility, so that each group of the interbreeding individual is confined to just one small part of the available habitat. The effective population size is much smaller than the total number of individuals. Like the founder effects, Genetic drift may help to produce divergence between the geographically isolated populations.